Hey everyone, thanks for reading my column yet again on this beautiful Thursday. This week I wrote about thoughts, words, and actions and how they are the only things that you can control. Recently I was at the Fran Connect user conference in Washington, D.C., and Brian Stevens, the president and chief operating officer of Marco's Pizza, was the keynote, and he talked about how thoughts, words, and actions are the only things you can really control. And he relayed this back to business. I found this to be a really motivational thought process or theory. Whenever I go to these conferences, I'm trying to get something big out of the keynote speaker. I hope to have some sort of note that I want to capture and pull back into my business. One thing that I wrote in the column, I said our dreams are our thoughts, our plans are our words, and our actions are the results of turning our dreams into realities. You get to set your own dreams and decide if you want to accomplish them. You are in complete control of every moment in your life, even the bad ones. And I think about that. Everybody's going to have these bad days. Everyone's going to miss sales goals. Everyone's going to struggle on hitting KPIs at some point in their life. And it's how do you react or respond to it. He talked about words when it comes to discussions about hitting sales goals within his organization. He said he had a check-in with a sales guy who was ready to use his thoughts, words, and actions to create an excuse for why he wasn't hitting his KPIs. Steven said, when I ask if you hit your sales goal and your answer is a sentence, I know you are about to make excuses. It should be as simple as a yes or no answer. Did you hit your sales goals? And if you answer with a sentence, that means you're probably ready to make an excuse. He said in those moments, that's your chance to say, no, I did not hit my sales goal, and allow the person that's monitoring to ask questions about how does that measure against KPIs, and what sort of help do you need? He said that he would never blame someone who came to him and said, hey, I didn't hit my sales goals, but here's the help or assistance that I need. I found that to be powerful as well. So thoughts, words, actions are the only things you can control. And part of what I did in this column is I relate it back to dreams, that if you're the only one that gets to decide if you want to make a dream come true. You get to decide what your finish line looks like. You want to be at the top, you want to be a CEO, you want to own your own business, you want to be a multi-unit franchisee. You're in control of that. And it starts up here. You make the conscious decision that you want to achieve something big in life. Your words come into what you're going to commit to do and actually following through with it. And then your actions are winning whatever game you're trying to play. And everything in life seems to follow this philosophy. So I appreciated the fact that Brian presented this idea as the keynote at the Fran Connect conference. You as a franchisee or you as a franchisor, hopefully when you're thinking about this big moment, the next big thing you're going to accomplish, or whatever you want to accomplish for the second half of this year, start there and make sure that your actions follow through with what you're committing to do. For me personally, and it is old school, but I have an 11 by 17 sheet of paper that I've laid out all the goals that I want to achieve in the next 6 months, and I slowly cross those off as I achieve them. That's important for me in business, and it allows me personally, and that works for me, to make sure that my actions are following through on my thoughts and my words. So anyway, thanks for reading my column, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.